At the beginning of June, I decided to listen to music exclusively through an iPod for 1 month. I thought it would be a fun video, but it ended up changing my life. This is week 4, the final week of the experiment, and if you haven't seen the other videos, here's a quick recap of where I've been. I talked to the author of the book Filter World about how algorithms flatten culture, left social media, talked to an artist about making music in the platform era, got a ton of music recommendations from real people, decided to dumbify my iPhone, and just kept digging myself into a hole until I realized I really like it down here. Life actually is better without a lot of our modern technology to distract us. But of course, the rest of the world doesn't work this way, and I'm being forced back towards the things I left. So this week, week 4, the conclusion to this iPod series, I'm going to attempt to find a way to balance all of this. Some way to keep the best of what I've learned, but mixed with modern life. And in a way that doesn't lead me back to mindless scrolling and passive consumption. Here we go. Do you remember before you had a job, before you had responsibilities and worries and to-do lists and bills and laundry? Ugh, the laundry. Before all of that, it was just you. There were no apps, no smartphones, no feeds clamoring for your attention, just you. The most important thing I got back this month is solitude. Not loneliness, but being alone intentionally. It's just me and my own thoughts and feelings. I'm not subconsciously affected by algorithms or ads, no addictive feeds. I'm in control of my own internal life again. I know you're thinking, that's easy for you to say, single man standing in the park, but I'm married with 2 kids. I'm a very active dad, and finding moments of solitude is really hard. But it's even more crucial if I'm going to be a full person and the best I can be for my family. Because before I'm a father or a husband or a musician, it's just me. One thing I've learned this month is the value of having your own collection. We stream everything now. Music, movies, TV, all digital media. But if Spotify removes an album or Netflix loses a movie, you lose access to your favorite stuff. This is happening not only in digital media, but physical products as well. In 2022, Spotify sold this device called a car thing. For $90, it was basically a dedicated Spotify controller for your car. But now they're bricking it, which means in December of this year, the physical device that people paid money for will just stop working. Spotify has advised people to dispose of it properly. Amazon sold these little security bots for businesses called Astro for Business. They were $2,400, and this September, they will all stop working. Amazon is issuing refunds in this case, but the point is clear. By and large, we don't own media anymore, and this model is making its way into the physical world. This is why building my own collection is important. It's my stuff, the music I love, the songs that mean the most to me. Using an iPod has made this clear for me. I need to own more of my media. Not only physical things like records, but a digital collection too. The catch is, this iPod is 80 gigabytes and it's starting to fill up. Plus, this iPod still syncs through Apple Music or Finder, but if Apple decided to stop supporting this 20-year-old device, it would be bricked as well. Solitude is important, but so is spending time with people in the physical world. I don't mean just physically being with people. For the last month, I've been walking around with these giant headphones on, listening to music in my own little world. But while you and I may be seeing the same thing, we're hearing different things. I'm walking around with my own little life soundtrack, which is completely different from what you might be listening to. This is why live music is so powerful, because when the Roots take the stage, or the Jungle Brothers, Common or Queen Latifah. For a few hours, thousands of people in the audience are all synced up, not only with each other, experiencing the exact same thing, but with the performers on stage. Yes, it's community. Yes, it's a shared love of the music being performed, but it's also one of those times when you have the exact same experience as the person next to you. And there's something magical about it. Something that even my iPod can't give me. I've been here before. Many times. I do a social media cleanse, leave Instagram, take stuff off my phone, I feel better, but then the same thing always happens. I go, oh, I should be more mindful in how I use this. And then I just get sucked back in, back to scrolling mindlessly, passive consumption. The problem is that these are billion-dollar companies. Of course they're good at keeping me addicted. My phone is full of spectacular glowing colors that draw me in. The algorithmic feed is designed to keep me on the platform as long as possible. My attention is the product that they sell to other companies. They are worth billions of dollars because they've gotten very good at keeping people on these platforms. So being mindful isn't gonna work. It never will. I don't want a vague solution. I need to get specific on how I want to reintegrate some of these digital tools back into my life. This whole month, I've still been using the internet, just higher quality sources. I've still been listening to music and writing and reading, taking photos and videos, just the old way of doing it. Last week I made the analogy about how smartphones are like digital Swiss Army knives, and having a digital Swiss Army knife for some of these things is incredibly valuable. But if I'm gonna have one, I want to decide what goes in it and how I use it. Otherwise, I'll end up right back where I started. This iPod series was originally going to be just one video, but once I realized how much bigger it was going to be and I split it into 4, this actually created a new problem that I didn't see coming. Because I thought this series was going to end with like a simple, nah, Spotify's cool, just use it better. But then I discovered that life is so much better without so much of this stuff, and I had to figure out a new ending. And truly, I have not known how this would all end, how I'm gonna wrap this up. But then I found it. I came across this book called Digital Minimalism by Cal Newport. The subtitle is Choosing a Focused Life in a Noisy World. And it's so spot on for where I'm currently at, it's kind of crazy. And there are 2 bits of irony with it. He makes the argument for digital minimalism, not a prescriptive set of do's and don'ts, but a philosophy of technology. Instead of jumping on the latest tech trend and figuring out what you can do with it, you start with the question of what do I want my life to look like? And then you use digital tools that will get you there. And crucially, you happily miss out on everything else. And here's the first ironic thing. He suggests that you start with a digital declutter, a 30-day period where you take a break from optional technologies in your life, explore and rediscover activities and behaviors that you might find satisfying and meaningful. In other words, the exact thing that I'm wrapping up right now. The idea then is to slowly reintroduce optional technologies, but starting first with the question, what do I want my life to look like? And finding tools that help you achieve that. From there, it's all about being intentional and optimizing the tools that you use. Not just, oh yeah, I'm jumping back on Instagram, but determine the value you want out of it and use it for that purpose only, so you don't get sucked down the algorithmic rabbit hole. You do what you want and happily miss out on everything else. If you've been feeling the same way as me, you have to read this book. Just listen to this. Digital minimalism definitively does not reject the innovations of the internet age, but instead rejects the way so many people currently engage with these tools. Which brings me to the second ironic thing. I discovered this book through an algorithm. I know! I was on YouTube and this video popped up and it was on the homepage and it was Cal's channel. He's talking about this book in the video and it got me so excited that I bought it and ate up every word. The thing I've been running from for a month just brought me the solution to my problem. Touche, algorithm. Touche. I've effectively done a 30-day digital declutter. I know how good life can be without the distractions of modern life. I know what I want now. Now, which digital tools do I reintroduce to help me get there, and how can I maximize them? First up, the camcorder. I have loved you, Sony Handycam, but I don't need to carry you around all the time. There's a great video camera on my phone, and it's already always with me. So I thank you for your service, but I'm gonna put a video camera into my digital Swiss Army knife. But I'm gonna give this camcorder to my son. It'll be like the family camera. Maybe he'll start making his own videos. Next, the digital disposable camera. This little thing is awesome. I love the vibe and the intentionality that comes with it, but I do also always have a great camera on my phone. I'll use it occasionally, the family trips to the beach or times when I don't want to have my phone with me, but in general, it's going back in the Swiss Army knife. Next up, the typewriter. Man, this is a hard one. I really love this typewriter, but it's not always practical. I'm gonna keep it. I'll use it for big thinking or specific kinds of writing, but I'm going back to using Notion most of the time. So yes, I'm gonna put it back in the Swiss Army knife, but I'll pull it out as often as I can. My notebooks. This is easy. I'm absolutely keeping these. My small notebook is better than any productivity app I've ever used, and I've used just about every one. It's my own system that I design, and it wouldn't make sense to anyone else. To-dos, week of calendar, mind mapping, brainstorming, research notes, all of that is staying out of my phone. Social media. There was one night this month when I sat with my wife and she showed me Instagram Reels on her phone, and it felt like, you know when you run into an ex like a year later and you go, oh my God, I dodged a bullet. And that's what it felt like. But at the same time, I do love messaging with people and loosely keeping up with what's happening. I'm going to keep all social media off of my phone, but I'll check it once a week on my iPad. I'll check messages and then spend 30 minutes to catch up with people, making sure I didn't miss any album releases or babies being born. But for me, I'm keeping this out of my Swiss Army knife. Let's talk about other internet use. For now, I'm going to continue to keep the browser off of my phone. The mental clarity is just absolutely worth it. I'll treat my iPad like it's the newspaper. So when I actually have a moment to sit down and think and enjoy what I'm reading or watching, I'll do it on my iPad. I'll continue with higher quality online media, supporting publications and creators I care about through things like Patreon, Substack, or direct subscriptions. I talked about the Light phone in the last video, but I dummified my iPhone instead. They actually just announced the new Light Phone 3, which is coming in January, and it looks cool, but for now I'm gonna keep my phone as is. A 3-year-old iPhone in black and white with a minimalist launcher, and download only the apps that I absolutely need, like banking or laundry. This leaves me with the thing that got me here in the first place, the iPod. When I started all of this, I thought I would just junk it at the end, but I really love this thing. It's really great for my own music listening. But in the same way that I need the laundry app, I also need music streaming. Week 1, I used Tidal to play requested songs at the wedding I was DJing. Week 2, I used Spotify because the client had sent their background music playlist, and adding it and offline syncing it is just so much easier, especially considering this isn't my music, I'm being hired. In this way, I'll continue to use music streaming as a tool. It's a great tool for when I'm doing an event and they send a specific playlist. It's a great tool for when a friend sends a link and says, hey, I love this song, you should check it out. And it's a great tool for quickly diving into an artist's discography. But if you're the type of person who wants a more isolated music experience, not cut in with all the extra podcasts, audiobooks, music videos instead of album covers, and the platform pushing flat algorithmic recommendations onto you, it's not the best solution for music listening. That title, in my book, goes to the almighty iPod. But if I am going to keep this thing and use it regularly, is 80 gigabytes going to be enough? And what if Apple stops supporting it? I need to maximize this tool too. So I'm scratching the side there. Okay, well, look at that. I am just scratching this like crazy. Let me see how this guy does it. How are you doing this, man? You made that look so easy. Thought I had it. Like, look at... Oh, God. Come on. I gotta get this open. This is step one and I'm stuck. Oh, let me turn you off. I'm so sorry. You should be asleep right now. God, nurse. See that? Boom! I'm in. This looks like a murder. I love this thing and I've spent a month with it and this hurts me to do. Oh my God. Look at my handiwork. Look at what I've done to this frame. Oh, jeez. Oh my God. That's it. So I've already kind of scratched up the faceplate. I've scratched up and bent the frame here on the back plate. So I'm gonna go ahead and replace these with new ones too. Just like that. Oh my God. What is happening? This is the old clip. And this is the new one. I told you if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. This goes... How does it go? Around the frame. So that goes like that. But then where does this go? Here's the original faceplate, and here's what I'm putting on. Now on to the battery and the storage. So this was the original hard drive. It was at 80 gigabytes. And I got this thing called an iFlash Quad. And what it allows you to do is swap that hard drive. This particular model lets you take 4 micro SDs right there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fill this with 2 cards. I can expand it later if I want, but each of these cards are 512. So this is gonna total a terabyte on this iPod. There we go, 1 terabyte iPod. I'm gonna get a new backplate and I'm gonna get this battery in there. So this one went down like that. So it's probably gonna be the same situation where it goes like this. Okay, battery's in. Boom. Oh, it's lighting up. It's lighting up. Yes, it says connect to your computer. It works, it's alive. Okay, I still gotta piece it back together, but it's alive. Look, I connected the battery and it's alive. Okay. Now I gotta get it back together. Oh, I gotta get myself together, man. I've customized my iPod by not only putting in a larger battery and 1 terabyte of storage, but also by installing Rockbox, an alternative software for the iPod. Instead of syncing with iTunes or Finder, you can just drag and drop the music you want directly onto it. There's custom themes, and because it's third-party software, it's brick-proof. Apple could stop supporting the iPod, and I would still keep using mine the way I want. This is the music player of my dreams. Oh, plus, I got a little Bluetooth transmitter so I can connect it to any car or even my AirPods. Algorithms are complicated. On the one hand, they contribute to the flattening of everything, making it all the same. On the other, it brought me the solution I was looking for and it brought this video to you. Modern digital tools are often addictive by design, and they may not be the best solution for what I'm trying to do. But if I can figure out what I want first, I can figure out a way to best use the tool to my own advantage, not the tools. Do I want to consume high-quality media and art, or do I want to consume content? What kind of life do I want? What kind of life do I want for my kids? How can I use digital tools to help build that? These are the questions that matter most, and the ones that I'll continue to actively seek answers to, no matter where technology goes.
Stop! Can you go play in the playground?
Oh, there's one other thing I should tell you. My custom iPod, I made another one, and I'm giving it away. To enter, all you have to do is join the Digging the Greats Patreon at any level, free included. I'll be announcing the winner in a free Patreon live stream on Saturday, August 17th, and there's a few other surprises too, but I'll tell you more about that later. For now, head to patreon.com/diggingthegreats and sign up at any level to be entered to win this iPod.